Breaking news, the man who tried to steal a gun from a Las Vegas police officer at a Trump rally has been charged. The suspect, Michael Sanford, told police that he went to the Las Vegas rally with the intention of shooting and killing Donald Trump. Sanford had spent time at a gun range in Las Vegas the day before the rally. Joining me now, Morgan Ortagus, Carl Higbee, and Adam Goodman. Carl Higbee, I got to start with you first on this very alarming news. This person admits that, hey, they were going to go there and try and assassinate Donald Trump.
Right. I mean, this is another Hillary supporter that doesn't want to see Donald Trump with the presidency.
It's a Hillary supporter?
He's not a Trump supporter, obviously.
Hey, but it could just be someone who's a little bit, you know, I don't know that we should say this is a Hillary supporter, but it does point to a vitriolic nature in this campaign.
Bet you a steak dinner he's a registered Democrat.
But the point is, though, the more important point, though, is how do we get here, and how do we get back the country back focused on the policies rather than sort of the vitriolic nature of what's going on.
Well, this is the fundamental problem, is that, you know, we want to have a free and open debate. Donald Trump wants to go out and let it spread his message, and that's what we're doing with the Great America PAC too, is we're spreading the message. But the Democratic side and these people who are anti-Trump will say, don't want any message spread except for their own. They don't want to hear what the truth is.
You know, Morgan, I got to tell you, particularly on it seems like the West Coast swings, and when we see this the most, that's when these the police are attacked. Police cars are attacked, Mexican flags are waved, and there's really just complete it's carnage.
I have to concur with him. I think one of the things, you know, I've been traveling quite a bit lately, and I'm amazed when I go to some of these business conferences, just the utter disdain for not only Trump but any Republicans, you know, out there, and any sort of
business conferences.
Absolutely, it's been shocking to me. And any sort of narrative that isn't left of center, you're dismissed, you're ridiculed, and there is on the left there is this attitude that if you don't believe exactly what we believe, then you're an intolerant bigot, and that is not what we stand for in this country. I mean, this is the great thing about being a Republican. I've been on your show, and I've been critical of Donald Trump for some reasons. I've been supportive of him for other reasons, and we're allowed to air and have discourse here. But what happens now in society today is that if you don't agree and line up with whatever the PC talking point is, then you are dismissed and ridiculed and disdained by many people on the left. And what happens is that permeates everyday society when people feel like that they can't have an opinion and can't have a belief.
Absolutely right.
Yeah, you know, Adam, I want to ask you, we had big news today in addition to this, and that's Corey Lewandowski no longer with the campaign. He gave a long interview on CNN earlier. He was extraordinarily complimentary of Donald Trump, but by the same token, it sort of admitted he didn't know why he was fired. He admitted he was escorted out of the building. There was obviously tensions there for a long time. Do those tensions, and to a certain degree, are they an admission that the campaign was on the wrong track there for a minute?
Well, first of all, I think we have to give some credit to Corey. I think he was a class act today, certainly on media. Campaigns, Charles, are chaos in motion. That's really what they are. Every day seems like a year, and every year seems like an eternity, especially when stories like this are breaking by the minute, by the hour. But campaigns also are about getting the right people doing the right things at the right time. And what's happening and what's really going on here is that the Trump campaign is making a tactical adjustment to get people with different skill sets into play to take on the next part of the campaign. It's a natural part of presidential efforts. Let me jump in real quick, Adam, because I know the talking point aspect of this, but give me specifically what Paul Manafort and others are bringing to the table that Corey didn't, and why they couldn't work together. Look at this, Charles, like as appealing to investors. The investors here in the Trump campaign have to be the Republican Party, the American people, and not in that order, by the way, and donors. And I think this is an effort to try to reassure those investors that the stock of Trump is going to get back on track and start rising again. And I think that's what the Lewandowski news was today, and that's what the Trump campaigns need to do, especially after the last 10 days, is evident.
You know, Morgan, here's the thing. Donors, there's a big question as to are there issues with donations. We're going to get the latest filing here any minute now. Hillary Clinton's raised a lot of money. She's spending a lot of money. She's committed to spending about $150 million from here on through in November, particularly in these battle states, these swing states. I know the Trump campaign has underplayed the amount of money that they need, but I think this is a realization that they need money and they need organization.
You know, I think Trump has definitely struggled with the donor class, but where I think he was actually most powerful in the primaries when he sounded like Bernie Sanders when he railed against the system. And if he wants to attract those disaffected Democrats over, I would go back to his original message, the one that worked. When he railed against the establishment, when he railed against the donor class, when he railed against the system, I think that's the message that works for independent and
Real
Democrat
quick, though,
voters.
Carl, you're going to rail against the donor class and get money from them at the same time.
No, I don't think you're going to get money from them.
Well, I think
Isn't
that's-
that
He's not gonna get
isn't that
money
the
from
issue isn't that why Manafort has sort of been elevated and Corey's out?
Well, right. Well, the thing is, firing Corey is an optics position. Clearly, if Trump campaign wants to pivot real quick, what they have to do is they have to get rid of the leadership that pushed them into the way they were doing things, change leadership. As far as things like the PAC and things like that, Trump has not been raising money. He's not going to raise a lot of money. He can't in $2,700 increments at this point. That's why super PACs like Great America PAC is coming in, and we're working on his behalf because we haven't railed against the donors.
All right. Well, by the way, you look good in the ad.
Thanks, man.
All right, guys. Hey, coming up, we're just